Imagine wading through sewage
Oh, wow.
just to get your voice heard.
Yeah,
That's exactly what tens of thousands of Argentines did in 1945,
really.
all for one man,
Wow.
Juan Perón,
Juan Perón.
from prisoner to president in a matter of days.
That's incredible.
His story is one of the most dramatic rises to power in modern history.
It really is. And his legacy,
Oh, yeah.
Peronism, continues to shape Argentina even today.
So today we're going deep on Juan Perón.
Right?
How did this one man capture the hearts and
Yeah.
minds of so many?
Well, to understand Perón, you really have to understand the time he lived in Argentina in the 1940s.
Right.
It was a country in turmoil.
A powder keg.
Exactly. Political instability,
Yeah.
economic hardship.
The perfect breeding ground for a charismatic leader.
Right. And then you have the 1943 revolution.
Oh, the military coup.
Yes, that overthrew the government and really set the stage for Perón's rise.
So Perón, he was a military officer at this point.
He was.
Right.
And the coup put him in a position to gain influence.
Okay, so the coup happens.
Yeah.
And then what was it that really propelled him into the spotlight?
Well, in 1944, there was a devastating earthquake in San Juan.
Oh, right, a natural disaster.
A terrible tragedy.
Yeah.
But it gave Perón an opportunity.
Mm.
He took charge of the relief efforts,
Really?
coordinating aid,
Mm-hmm.
showing genuine concern for the people.
So he's out there on the ground,
He is.
connecting with everyday Argentines.
Exactly. And this is where we start to see that populist appeal.
Right. He wasn't just some out-of-touch politician.
No, he was seen as a man of action.
A man of the people.
Exactly. And it was during this time
Uh-huh.
that he met Eva Duarte,
Oh, Eva Perón.
the woman who would become his wife. And
A legend in her own right.
absolutely, their connection was undeniable.
So what was it about them?
They shared a deep empathy for the working class.
The descamisados.
Yes, the shirtless ones.
Right.
Eva herself had come from a humble background.
Yeah.
And she really pushed Perón to champion the needs of these people.
So Perón, with his natural charisma
Yeah.
and Eva's sharp political instincts,
Oh, she was a force.
they start to make some bold moves.
They did.
What do they do?
Well, he focused on empowering labor unions.
Okay. Which had historically been suppressed.
Exactly. He secured better rights for workers,
Uh-huh.
better wages.
And positioned himself as the champion of the working class.
He was their voice.
Brilliant strategy.
He created a loyal base of support
Right.
that would prove crucial in his rise to power.
But as we know, every story has its twists and turns.
It does.
So Perón's growing popularity,
Yes,
it started to make him a threat
of course.
to those in power.
The existing power structure never likes a shakeup.
Right. They try to suppress a charismatic leader,
Yeah.
and it usually backfires.
Almost always.
And that's what happened with Perón.
It did. The president at the time,
Edelmiro Farrell.
yes. Farrell feared Perón's influence,
Mm.
had him removed from his position, and arrested.
What a huge miscalculation.
It would prove to be a turning point in Argentine history.
A turning point indeed.
Yeah.
But we'll have to save that story for after the break.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with more on the incredible rise of Juan Perón. So Perón's arrest, well, it didn't exactly go as President Farrell planned.
It completely backfired, didn't it?
It did. October 17, 1945.
Okay.
Became a pivotal moment.
In Argentine history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of workers
Wow.
flooded the streets of Buenos Aires demanding Perón's release.
This is the famous Descamisados March, right?
Yes, the shirtless ones.
These are the people Perón fought for.
Exactly, and they were ready to fight for him.
The authorities tried to stop them, right?
They did. They even raised a bridge
That's
to
great.
block them from reaching the city center.
But it didn't work.
Not at all. Some workers even waded
Waited.
through the sewage-filled Riachuelo River
Oh, wow.
to get to Perón.
That's incredible.
It shows the depth of their loyalty.
And the power of collective action.
Absolutely faced with such immense pressure. Yeah.
The government had no choice but to release Perón
And just a few months later, he was elected president.
in a landslide victory.
So Perón takes office.
He does.
What were some of his key policies?
Well, he implemented a range of policies
Okay.
aimed at empowering the working class,
Mm.
reducing social inequality.
So, like, what specifically?
He increased wages,
Okay.
nationalized key industries,
Right.
and expanded social welfare programs.
And all of this falls under the umbrella of Peronism.
Exactly.
So can we break that down a bit?
Sure.
What exactly is Peronism?
Well, it's a complex ideology.
Yeah.
But at its core, it's a mix of nationalism, social justice, and economic populism.
And how did those principles play out in Perón's policies?
Well, one example is the nationalization of industry.
Like the railroads.
Yes, and banks.
Right.
This was meant to give more economic power to the state.
And to the people.
Exactly. Perón also established a Ministry of Labor to enforce fair labor practices. And he introduced universal suffrage.
Yes, in 1947, women in Argentina
Got the right to vote.
for the first time.
Wow, what a moment in history.
It was. And we can't forget the role of Eva Perón.
Eva Perón, she was more than just a first lady.
Oh, absolutely.
She was a political force in her own right.
She founded the Eva Perón Foundation.
Right, which provided aid to the poor and working class.
Yes, and her charisma.
Yeah.
Her tireless advocacy.
It made her incredibly popular.
She embodied the spirit of Peronism.
But such radical change,
Yeah.
it rarely comes without opposition.
That's true. Perón's policies alienated some.
The wealthy elite.
Yes, and the military establishment.
And this tension eventually led to his downfall.
It did. In 1955, Perón was overthrown in a military coup.
And forced into exile.
Yes, it marked the end of his first presidency.
But as we know, the story of Perón doesn't end there.
It doesn't. Peronism would continue to be a powerful force in Argentina.
Even in Perón's absence.
Exactly. But we'll delve into that more after the break.
So Perón is in exile.
Yeah, far away from Argentina.
But Peronism, this movement he created,
Uh-huh.
it didn't just disappear.
It didn't. Peronism, it was more than just policies.
Right.
It became this ideology.
It's a powerful idea.
Exactly. And it continued to resonate.
So why do you think that is?
Well, Perón, he tapped into something deep.
Like what?
This desire for social justice,
Right.
economic equality,
He gave a voice to the people.
to the ones who felt ignored.
The descamisados.
Exactly. And his policies.
Yeah.
They brought real benefits to the working class.
Tangible improvements.
Exactly. And that created this fierce loyalty.
And even in exile,
yeah.
Perón's supporters,
The Peronists
they never gave up hope.
they believed he would return.
And he did.
He did in 1973.
After almost 2 decades.
Perón came back to Argentina.
To a hero's welcome.
It was incredible.
And he was elected president again.
The people had spoken.
But this time it was different, wasn't it?
Perón was older.
Yeah.
His health was failing.
And Argentina was facing new challenges.
More complex problems.
His second presidency.
It was short-lived.
He died in office in 74.
A sad end to a tumultuous life.
So looking back at Perón's story,
Uh-huh.
what can we learn from it?
Well, I think it shows us the power of populism.
Right.
How a leader can connect with the people.
Especially in times of hardship.
Exactly when people are looking for answers.
For someone to believe in.
For change.
But Perón's story also warns us
About the potential dangers.
the downsides of populism.
The risk of authoritarianism.
It's a complex legacy, isn't it?
It is full of contradictions.
Triumphs and tragedies.
And it continues to shape Argentina today.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Juan Perón,
Yeah.
he left an indelible mark on history.
He did one that we're still grappling with.
And on that note,
Uh-huh.
we want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the life and legacy of Juan Perón.
We hope you learned something.
And maybe even spark some new questions.
About populism.
About
the enduring search for justice.
If you enjoyed this deep dive,
Be sure to subscribe.
to the deep dive for more fascinating journeys into history, politics, and culture
We've got some great episodes coming up.
that we can't wait to share.
So until next time.
Keep diving deep.